What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the best way to improve your KD in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. As many of you know, this game is very difficult compared to other Call of Duties. It forces you to play more conservative and not be able to rush around as more unless you're playing worse players. But for the most part, you kind of not have to camp, but you have to play it safe and play more passive. But because of that, a lot of you, obviously because you're watching this video, are having troubles improving your KD, having more kills than deaths, or just getting way more kills than deaths in general. I know when I first started playing this game, it was a real struggle for me having to try and change my playstyle in order to do well in this game. But after implementing these 5 tips into my playstyle, I was drastically able to improve my KD. I'm currently at a 1.7 KD, which is pretty good. I know other like big YouTubers or really good players have 2 to 3 to 4 KDs, which was really easy in other games, but is extremely hard in this game. I just have been getting into really hard lobbies, which I'm sure a lot of you have. But after implementing these 5 tips, you're going to be able to change that right around. So let's just jump right into it. So tip number 1 is kind of an obvious one, but it's just use the best guns that are currently available in the game. Now, many patches come and go throughout the game, but for the most part, there's a good solid core group of guns that are always going to work for you. Unless they get completely nerfed to the ground, there are certain guns that are always going to be good, like the M4, or the 725, or the MP7, or the MP5. So the goal is to just use those guns as much as possible if you want to do well. Obviously, if you don't want to try as hard, you could use different guns and just have some fun. But if you're really trying to do well, get a higher KD, or even go for a tactical nuke, you're going to just want to use the best guns and the best attachments. Now, there are tons of videos on YouTube with different class setups for each gun. I have one on my channel right now for the best overall M4 class setup that will definitely help you improve your KD. But if you want to find some other guns, I would go search around on YouTube or just check back on my channel in the future. So just so you don't miss out on those, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications just in case you want to wait for one of those other guns to see what I have to say about it. But just do that really quick. It takes 1 second just so you're notified whenever I upload. I don't upload too much, so I'm not going to be spamming your phone, your computer, but it'll definitely help you stay in the loop so you know what's the best class setup to use currently. But tip number 2, I kind of mentioned it earlier in the video in the beginning, but it's just don't rush around like a chicken with your head cut off. Obviously, in past Call of Duties, you're able to rush around and do pretty well for yourself because you'd run into players that aren't that good, or just everyone's kind of playing the same play style, but you just have better aim or accuracy. But definitely patience is more of a key in this game. It's really hard, really hard to run around and to do really well. I know because I've done it before and it just never works out. I always die by someone just holding that one spot, just aiming down the whole game that won't move. You run into all the campers, and it's really annoying to try and rush around and just die a ton per game, which will lower your KD a ton. Now, I'm not saying just camp and don't move around, but I'm saying just play a little bit more passive. Don't try and rush around as much. You can if you are doing really well and the players aren't that good, but if you're playing with some pretty good players, which you're definitely going to be running into once you get your KD higher up because of skill-based matchmaking, it's going to get harder and harder to move around a lot. Tip number 3 is to 100% use EOD. I know for me personally, when I don't use it, I die a ton from explosives in this game. Because of the new perk system, and it's unlike the pick 10 systems in other games, everyone has 1 to 2 explosives per life. So that just means a ton of people are going to be using a ton of explosives, which means you are going to be dying more from it unless you are using EOD. I know that once I started using EOD, I started dying a lot less to things that are claymores or bouncing betties that you just can't expect around corners, and there's nothing you can really do about them except shoot them. But sometimes they're in that weird spot that you can't shoot, so you just gotta run through it and hope that the enemy is not pre-aiming that corner. But I promise you, once you start using EOD, you would definitely notice a huge change in your kill to death ratio because you're gonna be dying a lot from those explosives. And people don't think about it a lot, but that accounts for a ton of deaths in this game. Tip number 4 is more about map awareness. The best tip I could give for this is just to stay out of the middle of the map. The middle of the map is where a lot of people are going to be pre-aiming and just holding down spots, so right as you run down, you're going to die really fast. So my tip would just be stay on the edges on the map or just more the left and the right side. You don't have to be running on the way outside of the map, but just stay away from the middle as possible, because that's where the most people are going to be that are just going to be holding down spots and camping, holding head glitches, different spots that are just going to be really hard to kill. So if you're able to just go around the left or the right side of the map, I know a lot of these maps aren't 3-lane maps like we're used to, but still try and go to the left or right sides and just flank the enemies or get around them or get into spots that they aren't expecting, because they are 100% expecting you to go down the middle, and that's when they're going to kill you. Now, tip number 5 is going to be one that I recently started implementing into my playstyle, but it's definitely to pre-aim corners. I'm used to in old COD just running around, not really worrying about different corners because you have more health and the players weren't as good, and it was just a completely different playstyle. But I was able to just run around corners and still be able to get kills. But in this game, people are holding every single angle that you ever could think of. You walk around any corner, someone's there waiting, someone's camping in a corner with a claymore and a shotgun, or they're holding a certain spot that you can't really see. And by the time you pull your gun up after sprinting around the corner, you're already dead. So my best tip for you would to just pre-aim around every corner as much as possible. I know it could slow the pace down of the game, but that's just really how you have to play this game. You kind of have to play it slower and not get ahead of yourself. So this is a really big tip that will help you get the edge on your enemies if they're not aiming down the corner or they're just sitting there. If you come already aimed down and have that quick reaction time, you'll definitely be able to kill them before they kill you. So that's going to be it for all 5 of these tips. Definitely drop a like if you thought any of these tips were helpful, or if any of these helped improve your KD when you implemented them. And also don't forget to subscribe for more future content like this and more other Call of Duty videos that are definitely going to help you improve at the game, and just overall content about Call of Duty that I think you guys will definitely really enjoy. And lastly, comment down below any more tips that you would give to newer players or players that aren't the best at this game. But that's going to be it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Peace out.